Hi Moon Children! Coming at you from the Nordic rainforest here in the Moon Temple. It's been raining non-stop. I've been so excited to make this episode about my second ceremony because I think the second ceremony was probably the most beautiful, magical, mystical experience I've ever had in my life. So without further ado, let me get into it. And if you see like smoke rising from behind me, that's copal from Mexico. So no, I am not on fire and no funny business is happening here spiritually. But after my first ceremony, which at the time I wasn't really able to make out of like what it was really about. Now looking back, I realized it was kind of the plant giving me an idea of how it works, like giving me the consoles, taking me to level 1 of the computer game and just kind of like showing me how it operates and also testing me to see how I respond. At the end of my first ceremony, I was kind of like, okay, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is the biggest, single most important spiritual experience of my life. But after I left the treatment room, the insights just kept coming. And things just kept unfolding and like just deep waves of gratitude and just kind of like slowly unlocking and starting to understand what had just happened to me. So they give you this day between the two ceremonies there at BEOND. It's called the Grace Day, and I actually asked for 2 Grace Days because I just wanted more time to make sense of it. And I also had a feeling that I'd like more time to kind of just truly prepare spiritually for my second ceremony now that I knew more of what was actually going on and how this plant functioned. So after my first ceremony, I started getting like these deep insights. I started getting information about my dosage for the next time. I started getting instructions from the plant of how to work with it, how to prepare with it. So those 2 days that I had, I spent a lot of those days praying, intuitively fasting. The plant kept me up all night, both nights before the ceremony. So the second night I was already like, I knew what to do. I was just laying there and I was at least giving my body a rest. And somebody said that even though you're not sleeping, your brain is still getting REM sleep while if you have ibogaine in your system. So that's really interesting. So I was really calm, but also I felt like something really big was going to happen in my second ceremony. So I called everyone close to me who I trust spiritually and told them when I was going to do my second ceremony and asked them to pray for me. I called my mom and told her to like not worry about me. I don't even know, I'm getting emotional. Just felt like the energetics was getting so like on point and all the subtleties were gonna matter so much, and I know now why. I called my mom and I said like, zero worry energy coming at me from you, like only loving thoughts, like only loving protective thoughts. I had my partner actually waking up with me at the same time. He was doing the whole ceremony in his own space, like just praying and meditating with me. And I also got instructed, obviously, to keep doing all the things that we were already doing. Like I asked for myself another candle that I just put in my room. I lit that candle for like 3 days. They have these really good candles there at BEOND that burn for a long time. I was praying over it. It was burning in my room the night before. It was burning during my ceremony. It was burning after my ceremony until it burned out. So I had like my own prayer candle. I had actually now 2 candles. I had one in like the public space and I had one in my room. For a moment I was like freaking out because I thought I was gonna have like a soul death type of situation, because I had actually had scorpions. I was in Texas a few weeks prior and I had these scorpions coming into my sacred spaces, which was kind of unnerving. There was a scorpion literally like crawling into my bed, and the next day there was a scorpion in my sauna. So these are like 2 of my sanctuaries, and scorpion is an animal totem of death and rebirth. So I was actually preparing for like some pretty heavy journeying, and I thought I was gonna have to maybe go through like the traditional Buddhist style ceremony where you actually die and you have to like watch yourself die in these visions. and I was like really preparing myself to like ride the underworld, and again like going through like just my darkest, deepest fears, like my darkest, deepest anxieties, printing out these like scorpion totems for myself, like arming myself with these animal totems, then thinking, you know, runes, you know, because what is my ancestral protection symbols? I had already put the sun cross everywhere, but also, you know, we're kind of like the descendants of the Vikings here, so runes, you know, and I started looking into all of these runes and picking out runes to be printed out. And so basically mentally I went through this whole thing, and I had like half the planet praying for me, exaggerating, but I had several people like praying for me, and just very deeply felt like I just kept tripping after that journey ended. And the interesting thing with iboga and ibogaine is that it actually does bind to your dopamine and serotonin receptors, and it kind of stays in your body for a while. Felt like I started having even maybe deeper experiences after my trip, like between those two trips, where the plant started, yeah, like very clearly communicating. And if before my first ceremony I feel like I was just like constantly tested, like I had to overcome so much fear, I feel like after my first ceremony things just really started aligning. I still had to go through all of my own deepest, darkest fears, but I started getting like really clear guidance of how to do the second ceremony. The whole night I wasn't sleeping, but now I already kind of knew what was going on, so I didn't have any resistance to it. I had my prayer candle burning, you know, I was just praying all night. I was like 40 hours fasted, so fasting and prayer is super duper powerful. Everyone knows it. It gives you spiritual protection. It's a bit of a sacrifice that you can do before something important. They did even take it out of the Bible, and I think it's taken out of the Bible for a reason, because if we all learn to fast and pray, like we can really enhance our spiritual powers with these tools. The morning of my second ceremony, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I had like fought all my fears. I knew that everyone was praying for me. I was prayed, I was fasted, I was ready to go. The IV went into my vein like so perfectly. My first ceremony I did, like the IV like kept getting fucked up, so I had like these fucked up veins, and like just so much struggle and so much kind of like, you know, almost thinking like, am I not supposed to be doing this? And the second ceremony was already like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this. Like I'm supposed to be here. You know, my birthday is the 7th of February. My lucky number is 7. My life path is number 7. So my second ceremony was on the 7th of May in a house number 777. There was a girl there who's now my friend, who had a bracelet, who doesn't even have a connection with the 777. The doctor who did my ceremony, who gave me my dosage, his name was Jesus. So Jesus gave me my pills, and I already felt like I was helping like the people that were doing the ibogaine with me in the room. I was already like clearing the spaces. I was already like holding space for everyone. I felt like so comfortable and so familiar with the plant already. And so I like, everything set up, and then finally like got into my own bed, and I had my witty music playlist, because obviously I had gotten the information now that this plant is properly supposed to be experienced with this music. There's so much that is sacred about this music. It's not just regular music. Like this plant and the witty music go together. And on my Patreon I'm gonna put some free resources for you guys about this music, about these instruments, so you can go check that out, download tons of stuff for yourself. And if you want to go deeper into the journey, then the extended ibogaine journey is actually available for all Patreons, for all paid subscribers. But these vlogs are free for everyone, because I just want everyone to honestly know about this plant. So yeah, going into my second ceremony, I knew my dosage. I had my music. I was fasted. I was prayed. I was ready. I was like in full trust. And actually my first ceremony, I feel like the plant kicked in like very, very fast. And my second ceremony, I was already like laying there with the witty music on, and even just like, I remember like at some point the nurse came to me and like asking me if I was okay, because I think I was like twitching. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm dancing because the music is so good. I'm like so moved by this music. And the plant kind of like waited a little bit, like watched a little bit, and then it entered. And the sensation with ibogaine that I've had for both times is like, first everything starts tingling, like your mouth, your hands and your feet, everything starts tingling and gets like really heavy. It feels exactly like the sensation that you get with breath work. And then it starts spinning you, and then it starts showing you the visuals. So okay, it entered, everything starts tingling, and then it started spinning me, and then it stopped. And then it like spun me backwards, like just back into the body. And I asked it, I'm like, am I not getting the visuals? And I think I had actually said previously, like in my prayer, when I started saying something like, show me the something, and then I was like, actually you don't need to show me anything, like I'm not really here for the visuals, I just want the healing. And so during the ceremony, when I asked it, I'm like, no visuals, huh? I was like, yeah, they take energy. So that was really interesting. So it kind of did show me the visuals, but they weren't like big flashy, like this screen that appears in front of your eyes. They were more like in my mind's eye, but like still very distinguishable of what was going on. And right away I started like hugging like all these people close to me and like family members, and then started doing ancestral healing. And actually that was one of my intentions too, the long term of just everything that I had been thinking about like while preparing. But by the second ceremony, I had actually gotten my intentions down to like one very, very simple sentence. It was like, heal my body, mind and soul. And just being like more in the surrender than saying, oh, heal this, heal that. I started just like hugging everyone. Then I saw my mom and my dad, and I saw like my dad's inner child, like wounded inner child. So my dad became like really small, and I held him and I did like, and like I healed his inner child. Then it showed me my grandparents, like they were kind of like spun around. And then it put like all my ancestors, starting from my mom, like behind me, one after another, like me, my mom, my grandma, like all my ancestors in these lines. And it pulled like a golden thread through my heart, through all my ancestors. I realized it's doing ancestral healing. And I asked it like how deep, like how far back did we go? And it told me down to the last ancestor. Now I've been looking into the ancestral healing a lot because of this experience. And, you know, we're always in pagan traditions and whatever, you know, when you go back into indigenous or pagan traditions, they're always talking about the ancestors and how important it is. And like mentally, I knew that. But spiritually, like somatically, I didn't really understand that. So, and to be able to do your ancestral healing is like just an incredible honor. Like I'm gonna make a separate vlog about this because it's like totally its own huge topic. But yeah, we were all lined up and this golden thread was pulled through everyone, and it was like, it's done. Like everyone is healed, like all the stuff is done. It felt so easy. Like it felt so easy on my body, it felt so easy on my spirit. It was just so beautiful. It was such a gift, it was so effortless. I mean, I wouldn't say it was easy, but maybe that's kind of like, I was so prepared that the whole ceremony itself felt effortless. It's like when you're a ballerina and you've been dancing for, you know, 25 years, and then you go do this like 45-minute show, and like it just looks so effortless, it looks so beautiful, it looks like you're flying. It might look and feel effortless at that moment, but it probably feels so effortless because you've done so much like heavy lifting previously. So that was basically my second ceremony in a nutshell. He also removed some programs where it just like the whole time I was just like working with it, praying with it, just the affirmations, the programs that he put into me, where, you know, I had come into the ceremonies like just very tired of life and even entertaining thoughts of like not really wanting to be alive anymore. And so it put these programs into me of like, I love my life, like I love my life. This is a magical, beautiful life. And after my ceremony, I felt honestly like I was 5 years old. I felt like I was just cleansed from all this trauma and like from all this like layers of just like dirt and pain and wounds. And also being around people after the ceremony, like you just realize like how much stuff we accumulate, how pure we all are when we're born, and how much stuff and how much pain we accumulate, and how much it really like changes and hinders us. And it just gave me such a clear view of like how much trauma actually holds us back. It's like you're limping your whole life and you don't even know it. That's what it felt like. And then once your foot is healed, you're like, oh wow, what a difference. So to feel myself, it truly healed. And I said that in the last episode too, not an introvert, loving people, like waiting in those public spaces, which is so unlike the last version of me, waiting in those public spaces for someone to come so that I can have a conversation, so that I can share, so that I can hold space, you know, so that I can share love and connect. Like my whole life I felt like connection was so unsafe. After the ceremony I felt like all I wanted to do was to connect. Just a sense of this unbelievable gratitude for my life, for the magic that had just happened, for this Garden of Eden, you know, that God has created, where He's put these plants for us to heal with and to experience life with on a deeper level. And I'm not like a psychonaut or a spiritual seeker with plants constantly in my life. I've had some experiences, but especially the past 10 years, I haven't really even had the desire to experience any of that. And just having this stuff happen with me this fall, where I experienced some trauma and then felt like my trauma cup for this life is full. I cannot experience any more trauma. Like my nervous system went into the overdrive and I just couldn't even get out of it anymore. I was actually suicidally depressed for 6 months, and everyone around me knew that. And to go and spend a week and to go in, you know, not really wanting your life anymore, and to come out a week later so grateful for my life, I feel like it's a miracle. And I feel like the world needs to know that we have plants like this in the world. We have plants like this in the Garden of Eden. You know, nature heals. Now, thank God, the state of Texas just gave 50 million to study ibogaine, and I know that they're going to legalize it because I know what those results are going to be. Like, I know from an experience what those results are going to be. But to look around, and this is why I live here in the woods and don't really participate a lot in the world, or just participate as minimally as I have to, and I don't watch the news, I don't participate in the narratives, is to really look at the industries. So there are 5 people in my family who have drank themselves to death. Alcoholism has killed people in my family. Smoking kills people, millions of people a year. The food that we're eating, heart disease, kills millions of people every year. Yet somehow all of that is legal. And God-given medicine, a little plant in the world, a little shrub, is criminal. Like, what a clown world we live in. What a clown world. So I'm really looking forward to this revolution. But yeah, after the ceremony, I just felt like me again, to put it the most simply. Like me before all the bad stuff happened to you. Me who's excited to live and just excited to be in my body and just loves everyone, really. I felt like what it's like to be a kid, where you don't have this judgment, you don't have these blockages, you know, that separate you. It just, you know how when kids get together, they all just play, they're all just happy to be around each other. And yeah, there's like an occasional weird kid, you know, that's maybe like very introverted, or maybe just kind of like in their own world a little bit. But other than that, everyone just plays, and no one is judging like what someone is wearing, or, you know, all this judgment based on I don't even know what. And that's what it felt like to be around other people at BEOND. And I saw other people too coming out of the ceremonies and kind of like being these big kids, just like giggling, laughing, like stupid, goofy. And then I had more of a chance to talk to Talia and be on her podcast, which was beautiful. Also hearing how they source their ibogaine, how how fair trade is really important to her, which is why I think that the spirit is so real there and so present there. Because some people say that iboga, like the thing you do with the bwiti, the real root bark that you eat, contains a lot of the spirit, and ibogaine doesn't really contain the spirit. But I know from my own experience that there's a lot of spirit there. And maybe there was also a lot of spirit present because I did do as much of the traditional ceremony as I could. But also I feel like Talia, who's the mother of the whole place, I feel like she has got really strong intuition about the plants, and she's found a lot of very, very powerful people to work at that place, and the energy there is just, it's like perfect. Even though I really want to go to Gabon and experience the traditional ceremony as well, I'm actually really glad that I did this the first time in this medical setting, because it does help with the fear a little bit to have this, you know, incredible staff and to have this high-level medical attention for should something happen. And not only did I have an incredible ceremony, I feel a really deep connection with this plant. After it entered my body, after the first ceremony, it was in deep communication with me, and I'm recording this a month after my ceremony, and it's still in deep communication with me. And after I did Talia's podcast, I told her that I feel like I have a special connection with this plant. And now I'm realizing, you know, I was hugging trees since I was little, and I've been living in the forest the past 10 years, and I'll talk about this more in the next episode, which I'm going to make about the integration, because it's as important as the ceremonies, like what happens after. But I told Talia that I felt a really special connection with the plant. And she asked me if she could give me a gift, which is the bwiti sacred instrument called puiri. And just that morning I had been thinking about like, okay, I need to be close to this plant. I want to know this plant. I want to serve this plant. I was looking up the places where it was legal. I could just have some of it close to my chest or in my space. And Talia gifted me, and let me show it to you. Okay, ready? You're not ready. I was not ready. Guys. It's a freaking unicorn. And that's not even really their traditional symbolism, but a bwiti sacred instrument with a unicorn design found me. Which was just another, like, I want to show you a video of what my reaction was like, because it really felt like homecoming.
Oh, it's incredible. God.
I don't know what it is, if I've had past lives with this plant, if I have a future life with this plant that is profound, that just gave me this type of emotional reaction and like a deep knowing of that I have something with this. And this really further cemented this feeling that, wow, life is magical, the magic is real, the magic is real, you know. And I've always been telling you guys, like, the magic is real. But I know how much life can really take it out of you and make you doubt it and make you doubt everything. And I'm just here to remind you one more time that the magic is real. It's real. And we are these little vibrational particles. And really all we have to do is to just tune our own frequency, keep our own vibe in the right place, and the universe start orchestrating everything, all the good things for us. The magic is real. I love you guys, and stay in your magic.